Okay, I don't know. I feel mean almost harping on this guy because he's always so positive, but I'm conflicted because the thing he's positive about is a military coup destroying democracy. Now, that's not going to happen, so it's fine. I'm not worried about it happening because it's not going to. But the fact that he's so excited to end democracy in his little fantasy, it's kind of sad. So this fine gentleman here is Peter. Peter does Peter's positive political perspective. Oh, we're close to a hype train. One more person needs to gift a sub or use bits, and then we get in a hype train. I don't know if you guys got that notification, but I did. That's kind of neat. Anyway, Peter is a believer in the online conspiracy theory that is Q. There's a documentary on HBO about QAnon right now. It's pretty entertaining if you need some background on that. I've talked about it plenty on here. But Peter basically thinks that Trump is still in control of the military. Another thing he'll tend to do is give arbitrary percentages to what he thinks the chances are that Trump will retake the presidency on certain dates, or that certain military action will take place on certain dates. And I've always joked about this when we watch him, because he basically pulls numbers out of his butt. But in this video, he actually goes through his methodology and explains how he comes up with his confidence levels for different things. So I'm interested to hear exactly what he thinks he's doing to try and give credence to the numbers. Let's check it out. We are on a hype train. We just completed level 1, so I'll put on some more tinfoil stuff. Again, with every level of the hype train, I put on more tinfoil. So, do it up. I'll get to bit messages and stuff a little later, so we can watch this video.
So I've been getting a lot of questions about why certain people are credible, or why they're not credible, or why certain statements are credible or not credible. So I designed a credibility calculator, because this is becoming a big issue in this hopeful movement that Trump will be president soon, to detect, in my opinion, which individuals are credible and why they're credible, and which statements are credible as well and why they're credible. So on this list, I'm going to go through the credibility of Donald Trump, General Flynn, me, Juan Osman, Charlie Ward, and Simon Parks, based on a calculator, based on numbers, how credible these individuals are.
I feel like it's cheating to decide if you are credible or not, right? Because how do I know if you're credible, and telling me you're credible just seems weird. Level 2 complete.
Included myself, and I'm going to use this calculator to find the credibility of the 3 main statements I say on this channel, which is that Trump commands the military, that military will make Trump president soon, and that a great awakening is happening right now.
Also no.
My name is Peter Hanna. This is Peter's Political Perspective. Click on the description button on the bottom right corner of the screen so you can stay updated on when my videos get posted, and you can be uplifted with hopeful news. Now I got past the intro.
Again, that hopeful news is that the military's going to destroy 200 plus years of American democracy over Donald Trump. Ew.
Let me show you my new credibility calculator. Now you will know exactly why I find certain people and statements to be credible. I break it down percentage point by percentage point from a completely logical perspective. This is why I trust certain people and why I don't trust certain people. And this is why I trust certain statements. Now you will know exactly what I am thinking.
This is a hell of a hype train so far. We already just completed level 4. Dang, you people must have gotten your stimulus checks or something. Thank you, I really appreciate it.
All right, everyone, here we go.
Oh, he made a document in Open Office, not even Microsoft Word. I appreciate that. Don't waste money on Microsoft. Just get Open Office.
This is the calculator I created, and just for definition's sake, I have 2 calculators. I have one for person credibility, the other one for statement credibility. And when it comes to person credibility, what I'm referring to is morally righteous and pursuing the truth, trustworthy, and good. In statement credibility, I'm focused on factually accurate. So when it comes to my person credibility,
Doesn't credibility mean factually accurate? Like, I don't care how good your intentions are if you're wrong constantly. Ooh, did we just hit level 5? We just hit level 5. Gosh dang. Thank you, everyone. That was the quickest we've gotten to a hype train in quite a while.
Credibility calculator. I was trying to calculate if someone is trustworthy. Not if they're right every single time they say something, but whether they're trustworthy, whether they're honest, whether they're good individuals. So, in my person credibility calculator, I have 2 things that can boost someone's credibility. First is a positive history of credibility. Second is an endorsement from a highly credible person. When it comes to losing credibility, I feel like negative history of credibility, like getting facts or dates wrong.
So you should have no credibility because you've mentioned multiple dates and you've been wrong every time, right?
Can affect your credibility. It can, not always, but it can.
Gets facts or dates wrong. Remember that. Gets facts or dates wrong is the exact wording.
Immoral income, like selling fake products, that affects your credibility. That makes me trust you less. And associating with low credibility individuals. So if you're associating with sketchy people, my trust in you is going to go down because I think
you're associating with Donald Trump.
You're just not a moral purchase. As I say moral purchase, a morally righteous individuals. That's what I meant. So then there's my statement credibility calculator. And this, if the statement, these are the type of things that would make a statement more accurate. If the statement is corroborated by events or facts, then it's pretty likely to be accurate. If it's corroborated, this is a corroborated statement by someone that's highly credible, that also adds to the credibility of a...
Wouldn't the credibility of a statement be entirely based on whether or not it stands up to being corroborated by facts and events? Like, that's the definition of something being a credible statement, is it's backed up by events or facts, right?
A statement to being accurate. And if it's a very logical statement, that also, in my opinion, adds to the credibility that statement is actually factually true.
That's not necessarily true. You could have statements that follow logically without the premises of each of the points necessarily being true, right? You can have false premises that make something logical but not necessarily corroborated by reality.
Now, if the statement can lose credibility in 3 ways. If it's contradicted by facts or events, then it's less likely to be true. If it's
then it's just not true. If it's contradicted by facts.
Contradicted by someone that's highly credible. Ooh, did I say someone's? By someone or people they're highly credible. If the statement is contradicted by people that are highly credible, it's not likely to be true. And in a logical statement, if it's illogical, it's not likely to be very true. So let's start out with some statements, and now you'll understand why I believe certain statements. The statement, Trump commands the military. Why do I believe that? I'll tell you why.
That's a good question, because you've given multiple answers for that, and some of them have already been proven wrong, and you've admitted as such. Oh, hey, kitty.
This is corroborated by military actions. I think this gives it a ton of credibility. In this case, 70% of the credibility on that statement comes from the fact that the military actions have been complete alignment with Trump's military agenda. That backs, and that adds a ton of credibility to the statement that Trump...
Again, no it doesn't though. You're speculating. Like, if I had to ask him to define what he thinks Trump's military goals are, I guarantee it would be something as simple as fighting bad guys, being good guys. Like, that's not military foreign policy. That's like a 5-year-old's understanding of how the military works. So just because Biden did a strike that you like, all of a sudden you're attributing it to Trump. It's ridiculous.
Commands the military. Because if Biden commanded the military, then the military would be doing stuff that's for Biden's agenda. But they've been doing stuff for Trump's agenda the entire time.
No, they haven't. No, they haven't.
This statement that Trump commands the military has been corroborated by Juan O'Sullivan, me, and other groups of individuals. I think that adds 10% more credibility to the statement.
I like that he just, like, even though he calls this a calculator, it's just, like, vague criteria, and then he'll still randomly add percentage points. Like, Peter, how are you getting to the percentage points? Why did you determine that it being corroborated by 107 equals 10% boost in credibility? How did you get the 70% for the corroborated by military actions? How are you determining that the military actions corroborate your belief? Like, this is a way of a conspiratorial person to try and make their emotional pleadings, to try and make their magical thinking appear to be objective, when in fact it is not. All they've done is take their highly subjective conspiratorial thinking and applied random numbers to them to make it look like there's something more credible going on, when it's not. It's actually really fascinating.
And also, it's extremely logical that Trump would command the military, because he's trying to save the world, and strategically speaking, he would have to legally control the military to save the world. So, and the fact that the military swore an oath to protect the Constitution, in my opinion, it makes perfect logical sense that they would follow whoever is protecting the Constitution, because they didn't swear an oath to be controlled by Biden.
Okay, so let's be clear here. First of all, they didn't swear an oath to Trump either. They swore an oath to the Constitution, so it's interesting to me that you think that automatically means Trump. But your logical premise here appears to be, at least based on what you said... Sorry, there's a kitty right here. She's probably going to hit buttons and stuff. Basically, he says, Donald Trump needs to save the world. In order to save the world, Donald Trump would have to be in control of the military. Therefore, Trump is in control of the military because he needs to save the world. This is logical in the sense that it is circular logic, but circular logic is anything but logical. It's just a circular argument. It's not real. That's the opposite of being logical. You're bootstrapping your own argument, is my point.
So logically speaking, it makes a lot of sense that Trump commands the military. So this has 20% credibility. As a result, the statement of Trump commands the military is 100% credible.
You need to clean your butt, kitty.
In my opinion, 100% credible. The statement, the military will make Trump president soon. This is corroborated by military actions that they are following Trump's agenda.
Again, your premise is flawed because you're claiming that military action, which is done by Biden, somehow supports the idea that Donald Trump is in office, which you have not evidenced. It's your feeling that it is that.
This is true. The military has been doing a lot of things. Basically, every single big military action has been in complete alignment with Trump's agenda. Like I said earlier, this adds 30% credibility to the fact that I strongly think that Trump commands the military. I mean, I practically know it. I'm very confident in it. This statement.
What do you mean you practically know it? Like, that doesn't mean anything without backing that statement up with evidence. All you are saying is, I feel very strongly that this thing is true, and all you're backing evidence is just conspiracy theory.
Has been corroborated by 107, General Flynn, and me. This adds 30% more credibility to it. Also, it's an extremely logical statement.
Did he just use himself to boost the credibility of that statement? Well, I said it, therefore it's more credible. That's not how this works. You can't use your own purported, self-purported at that, credibility lead you to believe that when you say something, it's more likely to be true just because you said it and you self-define as credible. That's absurd.
That he would be president, the military would make him president because the only way he can save planet Earth is to become president. And since I 100% believe the military can make him president and he needs to be president to save Earth, then of course the military make Trump president. I mean, legally they can do it.
No, legally they cannot. That would be very, very illegal if they chose to try and do that. It's weird to me when he tries to claim something like a military coup is legal, which makes me think he knows absolutely nothing about the Constitution at all, or how, like, the chain of command works. Like, if the president, like, let's say Biden did get arrested for something legitimate, like, Trump doesn't become the president all of a sudden. That's not how any of this works. Lupine decided to go stare at the window. She's still right here. She's just looking outside.
Legally, they're taking orders from Trump, and legally, he needs to be president to save the world. So it's an extremely logical statement to say that the military will make Trump president soon.
Wrong.
So the main reason I believe the military will make Trump president soon is because it's very logical. It's very logical.
It's logical because I say it's logical, and it's logical because if it's not logical, then I'll be wrong, and I can't be wrong because Trump needs to save the world, because if he doesn't, then we all die, and it's logical. Okay? How hard is this to understand? This is word salad, I would argue, on the bingo card, too.
That's why I add 39% credibility to that. As a result, the statement that the military will make Trump president soon is 99% credible from my perspective.
Okay, the fact that you give that a 99% credibility rating means your personal credibility rating is 0. You have no credibility, Peter. Oopsie, I didn't mean to click on that.
Perspective. I will be shocked if I was wrong, but
this is gonna be Peter's face. Literally every moment of every day for the rest of his life.
It's 99% credible in my opinion. Like, almost 100% sure that the military will make Trump president soon. Now, the statement, the Great Awakening is happening right now. I think many people believe this. This is corroborated by the Bible, Trump, Flynn, and many others. You know, the talk about the apocalypse, which is apocalypse. We are in the end days, or apocalypse, or whatever, what you want to call it.
Again, that's a statement that would require an absurd amount of evidence because it is a pretty big claim. People have been claiming we're in the end days since the beginning days of humanity. Humans are we tend to catastrophize. Let me put it that way. That's something I know a lot about. People have been saying it's the end of the world since the beginning of humanity, and we've been fine so far. So maybe chill.
Apocalypse and end days is all about the Great Awakening, all about waking up to the truth and everyone learning the truth. So there's a lot of credibility added there, 40% credibility. This has been also corroborated by thousands of events. Thousands of things have happened that have woken up people, and that adds a ton of credibility.
Thousands of events. Which ones? You know, the one that there are thousands of.
50% credibility to the statement. And it's also a very logical statement if you look at everything that's happening and everything that's been said, and the fact that all the evidence is pointing to right now being the Great Awakening. So I add 10% credibility to that, and as a result...
It's interesting, too. It's an interesting look at Peter's, like, mind. Like, when he sees other people do actual statistical analysis, is this what he thinks they're doing? Does he think when he sees polls and different things that involve percentages and statistics, does he think someone's just sitting there in a Word document or an open office document, just like putting numbers next to them, and he's like, I can do that, not realizing that when people use percentages professionally, usually there's like actual thought behind it other than just, I think this feels right. So he like, it's like a cargo cult mentality. He knows that people who put percentages next to outcomes are respected and they're taken seriously, but he doesn't understand why. So therefore, if he does it, he will have more credibility. It's very interesting.
Result, the Great Awakening is happening right now is 100%
It's like when sovereign citizens adopt sort of the nomenclature or the jargon of the law, but they'll use it incorrectly and not really understand the jurisprudence behind it. But it gives the illusion of law. It's pseudo-law. This is a lot like that. He's taking on the aesthetic without any of the actual substance.
Credible. Now, this is where it gets fun. I'm going to go into people and use the person credibility calculator to determine how credible certain individuals are. And obviously this is my opinion, but now you understand where my logic is coming from. First is me. I have a positive history credibility, so...
Wait a minute. Your criteria for personal credibility, the negative side is gets things wrong. Every prediction you've had in terms of dates has been wrong, Peter. So how in the world is your credibility at 100%?
My opinion, if I've been trustworthy and honest and upfront 100% of the time and accurate most of the time, then I'm 100% credible, in my opinion.
I don't know if you get to determine how credible you are in basically any context. Like, I wouldn't say to you guys, I'm very credible. Like, that's not for me to decide.
Have I got a few things wrong? Yes, I have. But I have admitted it. So this doesn't...
That wasn't in the thing earlier. It didn't say admits that they're wrong. It didn't say gets things wrong and never admits it. It just said gets things wrong and your credibility goes down. Which is basically, that's just true, right? Like, if I listen to... sometimes I'll watch, like, channels that talk about media or rumors that are about, like, movies and stuff coming out. Like, a lot of the time that stuff's bullshit, and I take that in stride and recognize that for what it is. I just find it entertaining. But, like, the credibility of someone who does rumors and stuff is entirely based on whether or not they are accurate. If someone comes out and they just spout nonsense, and they constantly and never get anything right in terms of rumors, even if they admit it, and every episode they're like, sorry guys, I was wrong about last week, every single week, they're not credible. They might be, that would be a different word, that might be more nice, that might be more kind of them to admit when they're wrong. It's more, what's the word I'm thinking of? Honest. But honesty doesn't necessarily mean credibility in this sense, right? Like, if a reporter gets a story wrong every single time they write a story, and they retract every story, I'm glad they retracted the story, but clearly their process is completely fuckered, and they aren't credible if they're always wrong.
Subtract from my credibility, and as a result, I'm 100%...
Honorable is probably the word. Honorable or sincere. You can be honorable and sincere, have integrity, and also not have credibility. These are different concepts.
Incredible. In other words, if someone says a lot of things and they're mostly correct, and they mainly
that doesn't describe you, Peter. What have you gotten correct?
Got a few things.
Joe Biden won the election. Donald Trump is not the president. He's not in control of the military. He's off, fucked up. He fucked off to Florida. He's just there now. He's retired. He's done. It's over.
It's wrong, but they admitted it, that doesn't affect their credibility, in my opinion, based on my credibility calculator.
Okay,
next
this jacket's already killing me.
Someone asked in the comment section, why do you trust Donald Trump? He talks about vaccines being, go get your shot and stuff like that. Well, my next video will be about vaccines, but Trump has an amazing history of credibility. So in my opinion, this 90% of the credibility that I gave him comes straight from his amazing history of credibility. He promised a lot, that he would drain the swamp and do a lot of things, and he did almost every single thing.
But you talk about the swamp and the deep state constantly. So I guess he did a shitty job, huh? The wall isn't built, Hillary isn't in prison. What did Trump say he was going to do that he did? He didn't get anything done that couldn't be undone immediately via executive order. He sucks.
Promise. And he has said so much truth, so he's extremely credible based on his history. Also, hundreds of endorsements from highly credible people. So many people endorse Trump. So many good people endorse Trump. So in my opinion, that
like Mike Pillow
has 10% credibility, and as a result, Trump is 100%. Trump is 100% credible. 100% credible. And what that means is we can trust him. Not that he will be right every single time, but it means we can trust him. He's a good, honest man. General Flynn, great history of credibility. In my opinion, this gives him 50% credibility. You just look at his past, he is extremely honest, trustworthy individual. And he's endorsed by Trump. He's working on Team Trump. He has clearance to the Pentagon, which is controlled by Trump. This also gives him 50% credibility, in my opinion.
Again, he's just arbitrarily assigning percentages to his feelings.
So General Flynn has 100%. He's 100% credible as being an honest, trustworthy, good human being. Next is Juan O'Sullivan. Juan O'Sullivan has been endorsed by many of my viewers, and as a result, I give him 30% credibility because I really put a lot of weight to the intelligence of my viewers. My viewers are very intelligent, and if they trust Juan O'Sullivan, then I do to a certain extent too. I give him 30% credibility for that. He has a relatively positive
Prismatic Fairy, thanks for coming to the stream. I appreciate it.
History of credibility, and for that reason, I give him 70% credibility. He said a lot of things, and it's all...
Flynn has literally been convicted of lying to the FBI. I know.
A lot of that stuff has turned out to be true. Now, he did get one or two things wrong. He was wrong on March 4th, but he didn't put much weight behind it. He said that there's some type of inaugural event. He saw a paper about some inaugural event happening on March 4th or March 6th. Now, nothing happened, but he didn't put a lot of weight behind it. He didn't say, like, oh, something's going to happen on March 4th. He's like, I just saw a paper about an inaugural event on March 4th. I'm not sure if something's going to happen. I just saw a paper about it. Who knows? So since he didn't have a lot of weight behind that, I'm only taking away 5% of his credibility because he got this statement wrong, and in my opinion, he has not admitted that that statement was wrong or that he got it wrong. And until he admits it, it's going to hit his credibility, in my opinion. Also, he said that Biden doesn't have access to Air Force One. I'm not sure what his statement, if he's talking about Air Force One, the call sign or the
Thank you, mods. You just beat me.
Airplane, but I just saw a video recently. It looks like Biden is going into the big Air Force One airplane. If this is true, that affects his credibility. So as a result, he gets 10% less. I'm taking away 10% of his credibility. So he gets 10% less credibility. As a result, based on my research of Juan O'Sullivan and the statements he's made and what turned out to be accurate, what turned out to be wrong, I would say Juan O'Sullivan is 90% credible. And as a result, for me to talk about someone at this point and to say statements that they've made, they have to be at least 90% credible. If more statements that Juan O'Sullivan has made end up being incorrect, I'm not going to use him as a source anymore. But right now, he is right on the line. He's credible enough that I am using him as a source of information. Now, a lot of people are not going to like what I'm going to get into now, but I'm here to tell the truth, and I apologize to hurt your feelings, but I'm not here to make you happy. I'm here to tell you the truth, and a lot of the truths I've said have made you happy, but we have to analyze Charlie Ward's credibility here. 80% of...
I don't even know who Charlie Ward is. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. I don't care about his credibility ratings that mean nothing anyway of specific people in the Q community.
.com or .org, whatever. Father-in-law is like, hey, check out Simon Parks. Simon Parks was a one. He's gotten dates and events. % Leslie, who has 30% shield. You understand my previous video is 100% effective at all, not testing against a placebo. So if Simon Parks, who's extremely intelligent, is endorsing a product that he says works, and he knows very well that it does not work at all, then he's a liar and he's a scammer. And I do not trust Simon Parks anymore. I'm sorry if that offends people. I'm doing what I believe is the right thing. And now you guys understand why I trusted Simon Parks. This is why I trusted him and why I don't trust him anymore.
Feelings.
So, This is my credibility calculator. I want to know what you guys think. I think at this point forth, you do understand where I'm coming from, why I trust certain people, why I don't trust other people. And I'm going to be using this credibility calculator from now on for individuals and for statements, because I think it's very important to analyze who is trustworthy and how trustworthy and factual statements are, because there's a lot of drama right now in this hopeful movement that Trump will be president soon. A lot of drama about liars and scammers, or people that are telling the truth, or what statement should we believe, or who's trustworthy. And there's just so
Chat, calculate my credibility level. What's my credibility at?
much data out there, and the reason I created this whole calculator was to sift through all that data and analyze people from this perspective, so that I can come out with the most trustworthy individuals, the best sources, and come out with that most accurate data as possible. If you disagree with any of these statements, I would like to know. If you
I disagree with these statements.
disagree with the calculator, I would like to know.
It's not a calculator, Peter. A calculator is something anyone could plug the same information into and get the same output. This is entirely subjective to your feelings, so it's not a calculator. It's at best a series of vague guidelines.
And things about the calculator you think could be improved on, I want to hear what you have to think about it. But I'm doing this for you guys because I want my channel to be the most accurate channel, period. And to do that, I need to take accuracy seriously. And the only way to take accuracy seriously is to really analyze it from a numerical value. And so that is what I'm doing. Hope you guys enjoy this. This is my credibility calculator.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope this explains what's going on in my mind, why I find certain people to be credible, why I find other people not to be so credible. And I hope this explains why I find the three main statements that I say in my channel to be accurate and truthful. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I really appreciate all the subscriptions and all the sharing and all the likes and you guys supporting me, even though sometimes I say stuff that hurts certain people's feelings. I'm just here to provide the truth. That's my priority. And my highest priority is truth, and second priority is make money. So if sometimes I have to say something bad about like Simon Parks and I lose viewers by that, and I lose money because I lose viewers, I'm okay with that, because my priority on my YouTube channel is truth, and then is to make money. So it's okay if I lose a little bit of money by telling people the truth. I'm okay with that. So thank you for watching, everyone. And remember, everyone, Trump says, I'm supremely confident that our brightest days are just ahead. So let's be hopeful, happy, and excited for the future. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, Peter. I really hope Peter gets the help he needs at some point, because it just gets sadder every video, especially knowing he has kids. Ugh.